What is going on? We are back with another freaking video. And if YouTube tries to cancel me for that, it's spelled Freaking. Let's get right into the video. In today's video, what I'm going to be talking to you guys about is why it's so crucial to make sure you have some urgency. And not just some urgency, but a lot of urgency for your goals. And the reason you need urgency is because, let me explain. If we don't have enough urgency, enough of a why, enough of a reason pushing us, propelling us forward toward the direction we want to go, then why are we going to take action on these things, right? We need to create as much urgency as possible, because simply by doing that, we're making it far more likely that we follow through and do the things we need to do, right? So if we don't create the urgency, what's going to happen is we're going to put it off for later, and thinking that later future destination, that future time is going to be more urgent. And oftentimes we get into the cycle, we continue putting these things off for later. And pretty soon, all this time has passed. And now we either never accomplish that goal, or we're in the same spot we would have been prior. So rather than waiting for some sort of urgency to come up, why not create the urgency now? Put yourself in a position to have to follow through, right? Now, you don't have to be in a bad environment or a bad situation to have urgency. You can just tie importance to it. And simply by doing that, it's going to make you put more attention, time, focus, effort in, right? And the best way I can put this is, all of you watching have probably, unfortunately, been in a time in their lives where a family member or somebody was not doing well. And during that time, it's always that person is one of the most important things, one of the most important parts of the day, and focus, attention, and finding a resolution to that is because, oh no, something's going on, right? We need to prioritize this, right? And so it works the same way with ourselves, but we don't have to wait for these things to come up in our lives, or these health circumstances, or whatever the case may be, or us being in a worse off position. We can start taking action now if we simply create urgency. So how do we actually create the urgency? I've talked about why you need urgency and how it's going to push you forward, but how do we actually create the urgency? So we need to find what is the goal that we're after, and then we need to uncover why is that actually important to us, not the fluffy guff, oh, I want to look better. Yeah, that stuff's all important, but what's the real reason? Is it going to be more confidence? Is it going to be better relationships? Is it going to be you feeling better, you getting more from your career because you're prioritizing yourself? Regardless of what it is, you need to find the root why, the root reason behind what it is you want to accomplish. And then doing that, you need to self-identify as the person who has those character traits. Now, let me get even deeper here quickly. I won't go on a tangent. Now, let's say, for example, your goal is to build muscle and lose body fat, right? Dig deeper into, aside from looking better, feeling better, why is that important to you, right? It's probably, so you can be your best self, right? You can have the confidence so that it pours into other avenues of your life. When it comes to fitness, it's always tying into other avenues of life, right? It's always emotion, right? And so it's not the muscle itself that gives you gratification. It's what it allows you to do, the energy you have, right? Like the confidence, these sorts of things, the brain power, the focus, all those sorts of things, self-belief, right? So you need to uncover the real, true reason why you're doing that thing. And then, for example, whether that's you want to be a confident person, right? You want to have, self-discipline, whatever the case may be, you're now self-identifying as the person that is self-disciplined, that is confident, that is all these sorts of things, healthy, strong, etc., right? And so when you start to identify as that individual, you are now you're now going to be taking all the actions that person would take, right? And this is where it's important, right? A lot of people think, yeah, but I already knew that, right? But the thing is, not just are we taking these actions consciously, but we're also having a lot of subconscious thought patterns that come into our brain, right? So we're having these subconscious thoughts, these different thoughts of oh, this would never be possible, or I probably can't do XYZ, and just like negative limiting beliefs. And because of that, we're now almost getting our brain filtered out from the positive we're feeding into it. And we're getting these negative thoughts, right? And that could be like for people around us, that could be just like previous ways of thinking. But as we're in this spot, you know, we're ending up, you know, the next day or the next week, whatever, aligning our actions with those thoughts. So if we have a lot of these subconscious thoughts that are negative and you know, are not true, right, and they're holding us back because we're like, hey, I could never accomplish this goal, or you know, I could never be a confident person, right, or I could never lose this weight, or I could never, you know, keep muscle mass on consistently, whatever the case may be, I could never break through this plateau. If you think that way, even if it's a subconscious thought, and you know, when you tell yourself I am this person, and then that subconscious ties in and says like that's not true, and you have that doubt, that will lead into you ending up taking more actions that are aligned with that, right? So you don't want to be taking actions aligned with the negative thoughts, because you're going to take poor action that gets you in the worst, takes you in the worst direction, right? You want to take actions that align with you feeling confident, you feeling like, okay, I'm this healthy person. And so you need to identify as that person, and then once you do that, doing the things and following through is very easy. It keeps freaking me out. I keep thinking there's somebody behind me, seeing my shadow. But that being said, like you continue to, you know, take these actions because you're aligned with the person. You deep down believe that you are this healthy person, even if, you know, the results don't show all or even any of the progress yet. You know that in due time you will become this person, because every person that has this goal does these things, and you're now doing these things. You just don't have the thing yet, but it's coming, right? So get underneath the surface level, right? Like, don't think of it as, oh, I want to get into shape, or I want to XYZ, like be jacked. Like, yeah, those things are great, but what's the true reason behind it? Like, how would you feel if you had that thing? And then start to really think deep about that, uncover that why as to why you're doing this in the first place. So become that person simply by determining where it is you want to go, what goal it is you want to accomplish, and then find someone else that has accomplished those things. Find out what those character traits of that individual are. Start implementing this sort of action and this sort of thinking into your everyday and in your lifestyle. Then it becomes so much easier to take the action. Then you continue taking action, thinking this way, and now that you're aligned with where it is you want to go, it's just a matter of time now before you accomplish what it is you're looking to accomplish. It's very crucial that you follow these steps if you want to accomplish the things you say you want. You need to become the person that can accomplish these things first, and then you need to adapt the belief patterns, take the consistent action, and literally that's it, bro.